Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and the online portion of the Guilty Gear Strive beta is about to go live pretty soon. And with that, I know there's a lot of people who never touched a Guilty Gear game ever before, only heard about it, seen it, but never actually played it, right? So I got for you 7 essential tips just to help you understand what exactly is going on as you start playing or watching the Guilty Gear Strive beta. Now, one of the big things about this game is the meter system. We call it tension, your super bar. Now, tension, just like other arc system works, this is generally how it works, is when you move forward or do aggressive acts, you will build your bar. Like simply the act of moving forward, just like say Dragon Ball FighterZ, will build your bar for you, as you can see here. And just doing anything offensive, doing moves, all that kind of stuff, right? But one of the big things to take away from this game, unlike a lot of other traditional fighters, is you cannot take the meter with you. So if the round's about to end, whether you win or whether you lose, it doesn't matter, and you have unspent bar, that's tough. You should have spent it, you should have done something with it, because once that round ends, that is all she wrote as far as your meter is concerned. If you did not use up your meter by the time the round is over, that's it, that's all. So not only, once again, aggression, hey, that's fueling your meter gain, you are heavily incentivized to burn every little bit of it before the next round because you always start fresh. Now, given how we just said how meter especially rewards offense, all that, this game will penalize you for being overly defensive. And that is with the negative penalty. As you can see right there, danger. And as soon as you get the negative penalty, you have lost all your meter that you have built up. So the general flow of the game is aggression, 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 and if you play too much keep away, you play too much defense, you will be penalized for it. On the flip, new to Strive is the positive bonus. So if you get the wall break in a round, you will now have the positive bonus, and your tension meter will now have a significant generation. You'll get much more than usual for a short amount of time. So hey, if you get that wall break opportunity, maybe go for it. Now, that isn't to say that Guilty Gear is without defense. We have the burst property, and I guess you can kind of think of this as a combo breaker. You can burst whenever you're being comboed, and it'll get the enemy off your back. Now, of course, with any good fighting game, there's ways to bait it out and potentially punish it if they know it, but still, it is a good defensive measure, and it works while you're being hit, unlike, say, a Sparking Blast in Dragon Ball FighterZ, where you have to just be blocking. It does also have an offensive use, so if you use it raw by itself, it'll cause what we call a gold burst and completely 100% fill up your super meter, or your tension bar as it were. So if you are feeling particularly risky here and you just want to go for it, you have potentially a large reward for burning your defensive measure by getting 100% full meter. Another big mechanic to take note of here is the risc mechanic, and that's this guy right here. Every time you block a move, your risk gauge will go up. The heavier the move, the more the risk gauge will go up. And what it is it's basically a resource for the offensive player that's hitting the defending player. Every time there is risk that is built up, every time the enemy hits you, it'll deplete part of that risk gauge, and they will get bonus damage. So once again, it's another mechanic to kind of prevent overly defensive play, because if you defend too much, your risk meter is going to build, and eventually when they do get that hit, it's going to be absolutely massive, especially say if it's a single hit, like a command grab or something, then it's really going to crank up that damage. You as a defending player need to look at this gauge of like, okay, I need to get back into the action, because once it starts really flashing, you know there's potentially a game-ending combo coming your way. So once again, just another aspect of how this game rewards offense. To talk about the dust button, it's a very unique button in this game, and it's gotten a little bit more unique yet in this version of Guilty Gear. So the base dust here, you see this big orange glow, and this is to let you know this move is actually an overhead. Now, since they are using some of the legacy moveset, some of the dust moves don't really look like overheads that much, but rest assured, every time you do a base dust on the ground, that is an overhead. And as you can see right there, it also can cause a launch. So the dust, if it gets a counter hit, will launch the enemy, and all you have to do is just hold up and you'll do a nice little cinematic fly towards the enemy, and you can get some aerial combo roads going. Now, it seems to be a little different character to character, but generally the reward is, hey, if you got the counter hit, more than just the hit itself, you're going to get some big damage. Hitting down and the dust button causes a universal sweep, so everyone has their sweep as this down and dust. And also, if you get a counter hit with this, you can get a follow-up for extra damage as well. On top of everything else, dust, hey, it's also a viable target for a jumping attack. Now for each character, the jumping attack the dust gives you is pretty different. It's very unique character to character, but hey, it's an option. Your dust button is a very unique button to work with, to say the least. Now, we talked a lot about offense mechanics here, but Guilty Gear still has more defense mechanics to work with, and this is the Fautless defense. This is the little energy shield you're seeing around the character. So what this is a block that does drain some of your meter, but it is a superior version of the block. One, you cannot take chip damage while this is happening, which is important, because chip does kill in this game. And two, while you're doing the Fautless defense, the enemy will be pushed back further than normal while they are doing their offensive moves. So when you're feeling the pressure, burn a little bit of meter on your Fautless defense block, and things will work out a lot better for you. And a note about combo structure and talk about Roman cancel. So in this game, it's a little bit different than quote-unquote anime fighters usually work. Lights do not chain in the mediums in this game. Now, mediums will chain in the heavies and all that kind of stuff just fine, but lights will not chain in the mediums. So the delineation is now, okay, if you want your safe, fast light, you won't get as big a damage reward as if you started with your medium. That's what I'm assuming they're going for. So punches will chain into themselves, and punches and kicks will go into command normals. Close mediums can go either close medium into another close medium, as the mediums will have a bit of an auto combo, if you will, into a heavy, or you go medium to down heavy, that kind of stuff. It's just a little bit different than things normally work. Now, to talk about Roman canceling, this is one of the big backbones of the game. So if you spend half your bar, you will then basically burst up and knock the enemy up, and you can just recombo from there. And you can do this during any move, period. So this gives a lot of combo potential to just basically everything. Roman cancels are what help elevate your combo structure beyond just the usual. And yeah, there's like ground bounces, wall bounce, all that kind of stuff. But this truly lets you make your own custom combo, for lack of a better term. Whatever you can dream up, it's pretty easy to work with within the confines of a Roman cancel, to be sure. Now, on top of that, Strive's giving us a new taste of how this works, as we have what we call, at least what I'm calling, the slide Roman cancel. As you can see right there, turned blue and then kind of went backwards, right? And turns out you can do this really in any given direction. All you have to do before your Roman cancel is double tap a direction, and then Roman cancel, and then hey, all of a sudden, you can go forward, backwards, upwards, or down, and you can do this outside of a combo too, so this can be a good last second spacing tool as well. And honestly, now that you can also get extra movement and directional movement after a Roman cancel, the possibilities are honestly near endless. Like, man, there's going to be so much cool stuff that's going to be dug up because of this. Be it both combo potential wise and just general like baits and calling out people on certain actions and then moving backwards when you normally wouldn't have the time or the space to do so. I don't know, it's just, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be able to be done with this, and I just think it's one of the coolest things about the game right now. Suffice to say, Roman cancels in general are one of the biggest things about Guilty Gear, and one of the biggest building blocks that made the franchise special to begin with back in the day. So with new potential routes and all that, thanks to sliding RCs and the general RC mechanic itself, we're going to see a lot of interesting stuff over the course of the beta and as we go forward, to be sure. So with all that said, this is a good time as any to get into Guilty Gear if you've never done it before. It's a fantastic franchise, and there's been a lot of changes going on in this beta, and there's been a lot of changes honestly since original revisions as well, from this beta to older builds of the game. So we got a lot to learn, and a lot of what this game has to offer us is certainly yet to have been discovered. With that in mind, I hope the various tips throughout this video will help you understand just a little bit better what's going on. This game's a little bit scary if you've never dealt with the franchise a bit before, and even if you have, there's a lot of new stuff going on here that we're all kind of just relearning together. The beta does have a bit of an odd schedule, so in case you don't know what it is, I'll tell you right now. So Friday, and this will be Eastern Standard Time, Friday will be live 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. Saturday will be live 3 p.m. to 8 p.m., which is probably the best time for most people. And Sunday will be 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Once again, all these times are Eastern Standard Times. Sadly, the beta is not live 24/7 for the duration of the weekend, but hey, it is what it is. And I guess at that point, I'm just rambling a little bit. But yeah, so looking forward to it. Hope this guide helped you. And my friends, I guess that's the end of this video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Guilty Gear.
System of making